Right. The three main factors that I would focus on if you're serious about losing weight. The most important thing I've learned recently, people may understand this, may not. It was very eye opening to me. I read a brilliant book called Why We Sleep by a neuroscientist called Matthew Walker, who's been studying sleep in depth for about 20 years, I think he says. The reason why it's so important is if you have a lack of sleep, so below 7 hours, 6 hours on a regular basis, you will, over time, studies have shown that you will become insulin resistant. Now, why is that bad? It's bad for a whole host of things, but when we focus mainly on losing body weight, the problem is that when you become insulin resistant, when normal presence of insulin are present in the body, the cells become unresponsive to the insulin, so they won't open up to absorb the glucose that you've just consumed. Then what happens is that excess glucose has to be stored somewhere. The body will then store that as body fat. Now it's you know when you become insulin resistant over a long period of time, or on a daily basis, over and over again, you're pre-diabetic in effect, and then that leads to, if you don't do anything about it, that will lead to type 2 diabetes, something you want to avoid at all costs for a whole host of health reasons. I'm not going to go into that today. I just want to focus on weight loss. That's the first reason why sleep is critical. You want to be getting 8 hours or between 7 and 9 hours of sleep every night on a regular basis. I'm not going to go into on this video of all the techniques that I've learned and the ways with which you can help yourself sleep. I'm going to do a separate video on that. I just want to focus on 3 points that start focusing yourself on about what's important to lose weight. The second problem with lack of sleep on a regular basis is that it upsets the two hormones that regulate our appetite. The two hormones are leptin, which tells us that we have had enough food, so we're full, and ghrelin, the hormone that tells us that we're hungry. Now, what lack of sleep does is it actually has a reverse effect on both of these hormones. So unfortunately, you become resistant to leptin, so you find it hard to tell when you're full, so you consume more calories. Again, studies have proved this. And also you have the other end where you become sort of the ghrelin response, so the response to say that you're hungry is out of whack as well. So even though you've had plenty of food that would normally satisfy what your body needs, it won't know that it's full, or you won't stay as full for longer, so you'll tend to overeat again there. So they're the two main factors on sleep deprivation that will hinder your weight loss problems. If you don't get sleep right, the next two things I'm going to talk about will have probably no effect. It's as simple as that. So sleep is the most important thing for weight loss above anything else. It's the most important thing above anything else, really, with everything to do with how your body recovers. I'm not going to go into that now, but anyway, moving on. The second most important thing is nutrition, in my opinion. The old saying goes, you cannot out-exercise a bad diet, and I personally believe this. It makes sense if you are consuming terrible foods on a regular basis. If you go and exercise, you're damaging your results. You're gonna keep the equal weight, or you're gonna put more weight on depending on how much you consume. The more sugary food you consume, the more insulin you're going to release, the more your pancreas is going to be overloaded. It's just a bad way to go. So what do I call good nutrition? I want to keep it as simplistic as possible. This is my philosophy in life. This is what's worked for me, and it's probably worked for most people, and it'll make logical sense to you. Eat whole, organic foods if possible. If possible, organic. I understand that's more expensive for some people. Some people might not be in a position where you purchase your own foods. You might still live at home with your mum and dad. You can try and encourage them to buy things like that. It is hard, to be honest, sort of trying to re-educate your parents on nutrition and the way things have moved on. But what do I mean by whole organic foods? Basically, think of it as simply as you can. Has the food come out of the ground? Has it grown on trees? Does it run around on the land in a natural environment? Or does it swim in the ocean and rivers? It's as simple as that. That's what we were given to eat. That's what our body is designed to eat. and that's what it recognises as food. It gives us the nutrition we need, gives us the energy need. Again, there's a whole host of benefits to eating correct foods for obvious reasons, but just keep it like that. So we're talking about nuts, seeds, fruits, vegetables, potatoes, sweet potatoes, grass-fed meats, and wild fish. That's it. You don't need to start purchasing diet programs. Just buy those foods. By all means, there's thousands of recipes on that. You can't go wrong with it. Combine all the foods together. In fact, add sea salt or rock salt and pepper. Herbs and spices. Honestly, once you change your palate, food is amazing. I enjoy food more than I ever had in my life. It's difficult to obviously get off the Western diet or the refined foods. So that would be the other thing I'd say about nutrition is I don't eat pasta, I don't eat bread because they're all refined. I do eat some brown rice, but just avoid, if it's come in a packet, don't consume it. Cakes, cereals, biscuits, crisps, ready-made sauces, pizzas. Just avoid all these things. I know they taste nice. They're designed in that way for a reason. But if you want to lose weight, you're going to have to cut those things out. And that moves just quickly on to. I'm going to do a more detailed video about this, but one of the main things is all those sorts of foods have to be out of your house. Don't keep a little jar with your treats in. If you have children, they have to, unfortunately, they're going to have to start eating the way you're eating. If you have a partner, they're going to have to start eating the way you're eating. If you're serious about losing weight, if the goodies are in the house, you're going to cave in at some point. It's only natural to do that. If they're not in the home, you're much less likely to go out and drive and consume these things. Also, prepare your food yourself so you know what goes into it. Cook in batch. Make sure you've got a meal for every day, and a dinner for every day, and a breakfast for every day. The less likely you are going to drive home on your way home, because you might do it. You might drive past a takeaway and think, oh yeah, I really want a takeaway tonight. But then you think, no, actually, because I've got a stew in the crock pot, or I've got a chicken in the crock pot. I've already got my tea ready, and you won't want to waste the money. So you'll hopefully drive home and you'll consume a healthy meal. It'll go, long way to starting to lose weight. I also find with this type of food, it's so satiating, and what I mean by that is it's very filling, I just can't over-consume it. I can't consume that much food, that types of food. My body now knows when it's full. It's great. I don't have cravings for crap anymore, and life is so much easier and effortless. Feel better, obviously, about myself, self-confidence, self-esteem. The list goes on and on and on. It will also help you sleep better. And then moving on to the last point is exercise, which will basically speed up your weight loss. Do something new. Find something you enjoy. If you play a sport, brilliant. Try and exercise for half an hour, between half an hour and 45 minutes, 5 days a week. That's optimal. That might be too much for some people. Start as low as you want, and then try and work your way up to that. I say, if you're serious about weight loss, this will speed up things. High intensity interval training for me personally is brilliant, scientifically proven to burn body fat. The stop start, really hard, intense part of the workout, and then the slowing down, starting up again. You sweat like hell. You feel great afterwards. It's difficult while you're doing it, but it will definitely speed up your weight loss. But if you really don't enjoy that at all, and it means that you're not going to go and do it, then just don't do that. Do other things. If you want to go running, go running. Just don't go too long, because it will damage your limbs. Should I say, joints, and builds up free radicals, so you'll age quicker if you're like a long distance runner for a prolonged period of time. Give it all a month. Give all these three things at least a month. Focus on that you're going to do these for a month. So get your partner involved, get your children involved. I understand that comes with its own problems, but they're your kids. They need to eat as healthy as possible, sleep as much as possible, and get as much exercise as possible. Why don't we do it as adults? That's what kids need. Adults, we're just the same. So they're the three simple things to focus on, and that's really all I think it takes. Yes, there's some health conditions and obviously other things that might prevent you from losing weight, but if you're just the average Joe, you want to lose weight, whether or not you're obese, whatever it is, if you can actually focus on these things, then you'll get great success. It's I wish you the best of success with that. It's an amazing feeling. I've never been obese, but I certainly was overweight, and I had my own psychological issues with it. And it just to feel good every day and to look in the mirror and see progress and think, I've never been in this shape in my life. I've never been as in good shape as this ever, and now I am. I visualise what I want my physique to look like. I visualise what I want my life to look like, and it makes me feel good. If you're in a moment of despair, try and do that. Just shut your eyes and think big. Think, what do I want to look like? What if I could look exactly how I want it to look? What would it be? What would I want to wear? Focus on those things. It will change your state pretty much instantly from a state of despair to a state of belief and optimism. And the other thing is, allow yourself, if you have a bad day or a bad meal, don't beat yourself up about it. You're a human being. Everybody makes mistakes. Everyone has times of weakness. You've got to understand that if you've been consuming refined sugars, it's addictive. So you've got to break an addiction there. And it's going to take possibly a month to do that. And again, once you've done a month, I'm hoping you form the habit of this and it becomes a way of life, like it has for me. It's part of my life. I have a set routine. My body likes that. We are creatures of habit. So go at those three. I'm going to leave the video at that. If you like the channel, please subscribe. So I'm going to do some more videos in this a little bit more in depth. The psychological side of trying to get fit or losing weight. Things that have personally worked for me, things that I've learnt. So yeah, give it a thumbs up. Have a good day.